Well, I never thought I'd be saying this, but Sam has essentially regained all of its strength. It now has winds of 150 miles per hour according to the hurricane hunters that are out there. We'll get to that in just a second, but we're going to go ahead and read the latest NHC advisory right here. Tropical storm warning is still in effect for Bermuda. As of 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the eye of Hurricane Sam was located near latitude 25.6 degrees north, longitude 61.6 degrees west. Sam is moving towards the north-northwest near 16 miles per hour. A turn towards the north with a slight increase of forward speed is anticipated later today, and a northeastward motion is forecast to begin on Saturday. On the forecast track, the core of Sam will pass east of Bermuda on Saturday. Data from Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that maximum sustained winds have increased to 150 miles per hour with higher gusts. Sam is a strong Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Some fluctuations in intensity are expected during the next day or so, followed by gradual weakening. Sam is forecast to remain a major hurricane into Saturday, with additional weakening forecast later this weekend. Hurricane force winds extend outward 60 miles from the center, so no change from that. But tropical storm force winds now extend 175 miles from the center, so this hurricane has been expanding in size again. So, yeah, the minimum central pressure from the reconnaissance aircraft is 936. That's actually that's actually the lowest it's been. I just checked. It was at when last time it was at 150. The pressure I believe was 141 millibars. So this is the strongest it's been. And if the pressure went down a little bit more, it would basically, like, this is the strongest hurricane since Ida. It was a 150 mile per hour hurricane, so it ties it in wind speed, but Ida was stronger in pressure. Its low minimum central pressure was 929 millibars at peak intensity. So, yeah, if this was when 8 millibars down more, it would be the strongest hurricane we've seen this year. But this ties in wind speed with Ida, so yeah, I never thought I'd be saying this, but it actually somehow managed to regain all of its strength. And as you look on the satellite right here, this hurricane is still it's still a powerhouse. So, yeah, you can see that right there. The eye's nearly circular. And a 150 mile per hour hurricane this far north, it's rather impressive, especially on its approach to Bermuda. So, Bermuda could see some more impacts from this. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the aircraft reconnaissance we're finding out of this. So, yeah, what we're doing essentially is just looking at the Hurricane Hunter aircraft. It's going into the eye right now, so we'll get some more data from that side of the eye wall very shortly. But one thing I'm noticing is that the SFMR appears to be broken in this plane. So, yeah, that's unfortunately data we're not going to be able to go off of. But here's what we can go off of: flight level winds, according to what I am looking at from the Hurricane Hunters, appear to be around 145 miles. Yeah, it appears to be around 145 to 150 knots flight level winds. So if you do the reductions from that, that's easily 150 miles per hour, because how you normally reduce that is you basically take 10% out of the flight level winds at that point. Especially considering even though it's moving in constant pressure, the altitude it was down to about 8,500 feet. So, yeah, that's the kind of job these hurricane hunters do. There's a couple of drop-ins I want to take a look at tonight. First one is from the southwestern eye wall. They 953 pressure, so they found winds of 124 knots, which, if I believe, is about 145 miles per hour, a little bit stronger than that. So that's in the southwestern eye wall. The second is the northeastern eye wall. They didn't get a clear pass of the northeastern eye wall. I don't think they did, but if they did, they found winds of 111 knots, which is about 127 or 128 miles per hour if you round it up. So, yeah, this hurricane's passing through the western part of the eye wall. We'll hopefully get the drops in very soon, so we can analyze that and see what comes up. They're going with 150 miles per hour. Yeah, we can also take a look at the eye dropsund that. So okay, so this hurricane's drifted further up to the north. So yeah, eye dropsund. Hurricane hunters found 937 millibars in this thing. So this thing is definitely at peak intensity at this point. So it was 941 beforehand. Now it's 936 according to the NHC. So yeah, this is a pretty. This isn't necessarily a huge development, but this is a development I did not expect to happen, especially this far north. This thing's 26 degrees north. Generally at that point, the hurricane generally doesn't necessarily keep strengthening. Usually levels off at this point. I guess it's over very warm waters at this point. It's over above average. So, yeah, this hurricane's definitely going strong. At this point, all I can say is that I hope 150 miles per hour is the cap at this point, because I did say 130 was the cap, and I said 140 was the cap, and I said 145 was going to be the absolute maximum. Now it's 150 again. So here I am turning into the NHC. But seriously though, it's just for me. Hurricanes are very difficult to track intensity wise. For me, there were a couple of models that had it going up to 150, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Apparently, it did happen. So, congratulations, models. You were right for once. So, yeah, as I'm looking at this data right now, I'm hoping this updates very soon. But yeah, drop 6 was 30 knots. This was about right here. Hurricane hunters are trying to find basically where the tropical storm force winds extend out to. That's why they're sampling those areas as well. Let's see. If we look at drop 5, 38 knots, which is about, hold on. Yeah, 38 knots, I think, is about 43 miles per hour. That's tropical storm force winds. And that's why the NHC said it was 175 miles from the center. So, yeah, we have recon in. We're going to go ahead and go to the cone, which is posted right here. Those tropical storm force winds have extended more out towards the east than the west, so that's an interesting setup it has right there. We can cross-check it with this, and yeah, there is a minus. There's a upper minus 60 ring on this hurricane right now, and yeah, it's a very impressive looking system at this point. I don't know why the satellite imagery, it goes back and forth and back and forth. There it is. So yeah, it's above that 26. It's at 26 degrees north at this point. So found it at 25.6. Now it's at 26 degrees north at the time of recording this video. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting thing and pretty interesting situation that's going on. So yeah, I'm hoping the reconnaissance comes in pretty soon. I hope they find the flight level winds. They're finding flight level winds around 120 knots or so, which is about 140 miles per hour of flight level winds. If you reduce that, that's about 125 miles per hour. So yeah, a little bit stronger than that. So yeah, this is an interesting development I've been keeping an eye on. So yeah, so that's all I really have for Hurricane Sam. I'm just honestly astonished by how resilient this hurricane was. It not only recovered its strength, it actually got stronger, and not in terms of wind, but in terms of pressure. So this is one heck of a hurricane that we're seeing right here. It's really this is a really good case study that honestly, when it comes to hurricanes, because this isn't affecting land or anything. It's going to affect Bermuda a little bit, but that's it. Which is why it makes this a good case study to look at. This is why it makes it a good hurricane to study. Honestly, I'm quite astonished by its progress. So, yeah, I'm going to check this one more time. Hasn't updated yet, so I'm going to go ahead and close the video off right here. Only key takeaway I have for this is that this hurricane is resilient. This hurricane has recovered all of its strength, and that's honestly an impressive feat to go. When I first check the advisory. I expected the winds to go down. Instead, they went up again. So there's something there for you. You don't see this. You don't see this every day out in the Atlantics. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off this video right here. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates.